So I just got to get some things off my chest, right? And I know woman to woman, you've got plenty of time for me. Now, hello there, Prime Minister. We need to have a chat. We really need to have a chat. Now, it's not you, it's me, okay? Let me just let you know from here, I'm just gonna have to offload some things. Now, I know it's not your fault, because technically this damage has been done way before you got into office. And woman to woman, let's just have a chat. Let's figure out a way in which you can help me to help myself. I've been teaching, oh sorry, just to fill you in, I mean, because obviously you don't follow me or anything on YouTube, but I'm a mother of two. I have been a full-time teacher for well over, God knows, I think 8 years now. And then sorry, something horrible is happening to my tea. But I've recently made the decision to go freelance, so to go supply. So, Prime Minister, do me a favour, if you just click the link above, that will like tell you why and all that stuff, because we just don't have that much time. We've got to go sort out Brexit and all that stuff. So there's lots of things that I think are broken in our education system, loads of things. And I'm just going to spend a few minutes of this video trying to kind of articulate them to you as best as I can. I am not a politician. I never studied politics. I am not really interested in the ins and outs of politics in that sense. However, I've realized that my ignorance is costing me. And I think actually a lot of people's ignorance is costing and harming this country and this amazing country that we have. So we need to kind of get clued up. So the first problem that I have really is that the Minister of Education has never taught in schools. And I know he's probably visited loads of schools. I'm sure he has seen lots of schools. He's gone to lots of schools because he has 3 young children. I found that out. Sorry, I'm not a stalker. But if he hasn't taught in schools, I don't understand why we have someone in government who is making such critical decisions without ever having taught in schools. I just don't understand. Now, I know what you're going to say. It's not your fault. And it's not your fault. This is the way things have been since the beginning of time. And to be honest, teachers, really good teachers, don't want to go to Houses of Parliament to try and argue their point. They just want to teach. So I'm convinced that there are advisors, of whom I don't know who they are. I'm convinced that I'm sure that the Secretary of State has got loads of advisors who's telling him. But and that's the system. That's how it's worked. So it's not the current Secretary of State's problem, if that makes any sense. It's about how Parliament works. That's the problem that I have. I'm imploring you, asking you in the House of Lords to kind of think about how are people elected into positions. They should have to at least do like a week or two, a month or something, some kind of job shadowing within education to fully understand the challenges that we go through. And if not, can we have a named advisor, someone that these people can actually go to, teachers can actually go to say that we don't agree with these things. For example, in all the schools that I have taught, I don't know one teacher that understands why we have gone from A, B, C, D, E system to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know why we're changing it, and I don't know whose bright, wonderful idea it was to confuse us. Teachers has enough on our plates to do. We're always doing training, we're always being updated, and we're always being blamed for the world's problems. Children being underweight, teachers' fault. Children being underweight, teachers' fault. Children being overweight, teachers' fault. Children being rude, teachers' fault. Children being bored, teachers' fault. Children underperforming in their exams, teachers' fault. Children overperforming in their exams, teachers' fault. Children having a lack of aspiration, teachers' fault. Children having too much ambition, teachers' fault. Children overachieving, teachers' fault. I know you know how that feels because everyone blames you for everything, Brexit and all. So you get how that must feel, right? It doesn't make sense to us why you changed the grading system, but it feels as though every government that comes in, they use education to prove a point to the previous administration and the administration that is going to come. Now, I think, and I can't be 100% sure, that the reason why you changed this grading system, I say you as the collective, like as in people in government, I don't mean you personally, like Prime Minister, like I don't mean you, but you changed the grading system was because you felt that things were becoming too easy and we perhaps are not competing with the world's heavyweights in education, so China and Sweden and all these other countries. Can I tell you why we are not on the same wavelength and we're not on the same level? Let me tell you why. We keep changing things! China has been doing maths the same way since day dot, okay? Norway, Sweden, all these other places have kept the same systems. They may have tweaked it a little bit, but they haven't done a massive overhaul and expected teachers to just get on board. The other issue that I have, and now I have friends who are ex-Teach First students, so I don't want you guys to like shoot me down. Like, I'm just trying to express myself. This Teach First program that you've got going on, I have a big problem with it. I understand the principle. I get you want to get the highest achieving, most intelligent graduates and you want to put them into schools. I get that. The problem is you tend to chuck them into the most challenging schools ever and then they get eaten alive, like literally eaten alive. You take graduates who have gone to very good universities, who've been living in this wonderful education bubble, so you chuck them into economically deprived areas where children really don't care about your degree, they don't necessarily care about all your accolades and who you spoke to and your dissertation. They don't even care too much to actually come to school. And you expect these graduates to be able to teach in these conditions with very little resources, really rubbish money, and like literally slave their life away. And then you, again the collective you, government you, wonder why we have new teachers who do not stay in the profession longer than 5 years. Because you do this to them. These Teach First students have very little experience of the world, as in they haven't gone out into the world necessarily to work for long periods of time. They're still trying to understand themselves, discover themselves, work out what works for them. What do they really want to do with their lives? They haven't got nearly enough experience to then decide they want to make a lifetime career of teaching. You need to be recruiting people who've had real life experience. People who have maybe been in the army, who understand what it means to be disciplined, who understand what it means to come from a hard life, who have had some grit. You need to recruit people who perhaps have been working in an industry for over 20 years and are actually thinking they want to slow down now and maybe do something and give back to the community. You need to be speaking to CEOs, all these people who are earning hundreds and thousands of pounds, who, you know, can give maybe just one day out of their busy schedule. All these CEOs, Amazons, Facebook, you need to make it compulsory for them to go into the school. They are making money from these young people. And one more thing, Prime Minister. LSAs are not paid enough. Now, I had a privilege the other day of actually working in a primary school supporting a student with special needs. And what I realized is that I could make a real difference to this child's life. I literally could go off and ensure that this child gets a maximum, an amazing amount of learning, despite his learning difficulties and his disabilities. But I won't be paid enough to look after my own children. I wouldn't be. Learning support assistants, without their help in a classroom, having taught myself for quite a few years, for a number of years, I know that if they're not in that classroom, that child is not able to access any learning. If there isn't a learning support in that classroom, that child has very limited access to the learning. And to be honest, it tends to cause problems for teaching because you can't teach at your optimum either. So, Prime Minister, can we talk? Can we really, really talk?